This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, and Joe. Today's special guests are Jeff, a commie from California, and Kaiser, who fired 1,000 rounds and killed no one.
Meme of the week actually went to one of our admins, so I'm not going to give that person any credit. I don't want to blow up it, but you guys got to pick it up. You can't let admins put the best meme on there for the week. That's you guys got to step it up. Before we get into the soapbox, and I know Joe will touch on it more, but again, our mission is to help veterans in many different ways. Right? The first one is to promote businesses. Right. Second one is to give, people a place to hang out, talk, and then, the PTSD and veteran suicide. Joe will touch on that. Dave will touch on that again. But I'm glad to have you all here. This is an awesome community. It's open to everybody. Civilians might want to try to understand the Army a little bit better, the Marines a little bit better, or the Air Force. They can come on there, ask a question. It's all good. It's all going to work out awesome. So cheers. Welcome, everybody. We'll get to introductions here in a second, but let's have a good show. Soapbox. I just can't stand it when somebody who's in charge starts out a meeting and says, I know we're all type A personalities in here. That is simply 100% never going to happen. Not everybody's a type A. And the bad thing is there's nothing wrong with being a type B. A type B is somebody who's more rational, somebody who slows down, somebody who actually breaks things down. Right? There's a lot of stone cold killers that are super quiet, all right, and can wait for days upon days. Now, type A, that's like me. Can't describe them. One minute we're quiet, the next minute we're freaking out because our time to us is more important than what you have to say. So if it's not good, I'm telling you to get on with it. So from now on, if you ever feel like saying, I know we're all type A's in here, just go ahead and punch yourself in the dick. That's all I need you to do, all right? Because you're stupid, all right? Joe, on to you, buddy.
My soapbox is, it's going to sound like we're driving home a point, and that's good, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We wanted to start this a year ago, and we're searching for the niche, like the groove to fit in, exactly how we were going to tweak it, and all of a sudden it clicked with Nick, and Nick got a hold of me that it was this, like building this community and putting all these people together. It had an instant and profound effect on all of us. I mean, there was people that I hadn't seen in 14 years last week on here. And that's therapeutic. And just to get in a group of veterans that have been through something or that are, we're going to talk some shit to you, but we're trying to build a community, and we appreciate the fact that we went over 1.3 on Facebook and 1,300 members this morning. So keep telling everybody, because we're trying to build a community that is going to focus on anything that we can do to help our brothers. As far as the t-shirts are coming. They're all ready to go, and as soon as we can get this apparel site launched and do it the right way, I want you to know that the reason why we're doing this is because something from every sale we make is going towards a Veterans Prevention of Suicide charity of our choosing. We haven't really got one to name yet, but you're going to be part of something that's helping people. And the more people you tell, the more people we can end up helping. So I just wanted to reiterate that that's our mission here, is to put a community together, maybe make some money to help some people, and have a good time and drink some beer. So thanks for the support, and keep it coming, man. Tell everybody.
Hey, great soapbox, Joe. 17 suicides a day, I think, is the last stat from the VA. That's one too many, man. That's one too many. We're losing too many brothers and sisters. But anyway, hey, I'm gonna introduce Beckwith over here. All right, our special guest. If you don't know Beckwith, or if you haven't watched Beckwith's Honesty Cap videos, you're about to find out who this guy truly is. Okay, Beckwith did some time in the 82nd, became a black hat in Pathfinder school, went to the 101st, and then went over to the special group. Special Forces is currently serving in 5th group. And I might add that Beckwith is the only reason Nick is Pathfinder qualified. So anyhow, how's that back feeling, Beckwith? Over to you.
That is
well, a couple things. First thing, I had to go to the VA not too long ago to start doing my medical stuff, and good thing is that the VA has said that I have 2 claims for Nick, both for my back for carrying him through Pathfinder school and basically carrying him through at least 1 deployment. So that's good. I should get 100%. This honesty cap thing's kind of got like 3 different things today. The first thing I want to say, honesty cap wise, is man, this is the most proactive thing I think I've ever seen a bunch of veterans do to try to help each other out, and I think that's that this whole veterans trash talk thing and this Saturday get together thing is like I said, a lot of people like to bitch and whine and moan and not really say anything or not really do anything to help themselves. And it seems like this group of guys really actually wants to help themselves and help other people. And I think that's pretty badass. As far as the honesty cap thought of the day, I've been thinking about it for the last week because I was told that I needed to bring it for this little thing. I wanted to go off on vegans because they're horrible humans who try to fucking hide their shitty vegan food as like meat products, and you don't see like carnivores doing that shit. Like, you don't like fucking take cauliflower and say that it's some kind of like carnivore wing or some bullshit. Anyway, but I was listening to news today. I was listening to the Corona talk, and I really wanted to go with that one. And yeah, I think it's funny that we live in a country that we worry about who the fucking president is, and we worry about like who these representatives are from other like frickin' states. But what we don't worry about is who the governor of our state is and who the local representatives of our state, and they're the people that actually have something to do with our daily lives. Like Nancy Pelosi knows nothing about what's going on in Tennessee. If you look at Michigan and you see those people who are having to protest and carry guns to the Capitol and do all that shit because they live in a state where the governor is some like super crazy woman who doesn't want anybody to high five or touch or do anything. Like I live in Tennessee, and this Corona thing has been inconvenient, but it hasn't been something that people are having to go like have protests and do crazy garbage for. And then you know, you look at California and Michigan and New York where people are legitimately rising up against their state governments, and I think the place that you're meant to rise up is at the voting ballot or at the voting booth, and you know, all of our issues can be solved just in our like local areas, and they'll trickle back up. Anyway, just saying, that's the honesty cap thought of the day.
I do have to say that he's 100% right, that he's the reason I got into Pathfinder school. And not sure I even knew any type of algebra or trigonometry to pass it, but I knew Buddy was grading my papers. So if I'm ever doing a Veers jump for you, you're in big trouble because I got no clue what I'm doing.
To be fair, I was a Pathfinder instructor, and if I'm doing a Veers drop, you better make sure that there's a whole lot of fucking land because I'm just kind of fucking wild ass guessing it.
Yeah, I mean, I just put my fingers up like you taught me, and I tell the helicopter to release people. It happened. So part of promoting veteran businesses, something that's near and dear to me, it's a good buddy of mine. He's a paratrooper, an ex-paratrooper. He got out, went to California, went back home, and he started up working with called muscle activation therapy, or treatment, excuse me. The techniques, he'll say it, doesn't matter. Either way, he had to get out because he finally got proven to be stolen valor. He was at every deployment. He was someplace where nothing happened, and we would catch him saying stories like we talked about last week, except he's putting his name in it, and it's like, dude, you were in Delta Company, you didn't do anything. But with us today is Jeff, and we talk about why you shouldn't get surgeries and how he's gonna try to start a nonprofit for veterans. Go ahead, Jeff. The floor is yours.
Yeah, first off, nothing ever happened around me because I'm too beautiful to die, and my bubble of beauty extends into really a battalion size element. So that's pretty much why nothing ever happened around me. But I'll give you a little backstory. I was in DECO, and the I think the trip that Nick and I were on to Afghanistan there, DECO did the most walking, probably by magnitude of 10. We did like 300 miles in like 25 days. So why the hell are they having a DECO walk? I have no idea. But anyways, that doing all that walking, coming from the Humvees to that walking, kind of broke me down a little bit. And when I got out, I tried to play some college baseball, and I couldn't even sit in my car for more than 20 minutes without like serious cramping, back hurt, couldn't sleep, all the things that we say are normal as a paratrooper. And one of the coaches kind of introduced me to this guy that did this thing called muscle activation techniques. Now it's a pretty new modality. It started about around 2000, but the big guy,
I gotta stop you real quick. Can you spell what you just said? What modality? Because I don't think 90% of our page knows what that means.
Like chiropractic's a modality, massage is a modality. It's just another form or another slice of the pie of healthcare.
Yeah, still no idea what you're talking about. But keep going.
Yeah. So I'm a Californian. We have a big vocabulary out here. We don't mean much, but we say a lot. So I started seeing this guy that did this muscle activation techniques. One of the big success stories is Peyton Manning. You guys remember he came back from that neck surgery and went to 2 Super Bowls. Nobody had ever played sports after that kind of neck surgery. So it was pretty monumental for him to do that. So I started with it, and it took about 6 months to be almost completely pain free. I remember one session went in and my knee was just killing the VA. Of course, just gave me pills. And I went into this thing and we worked on some stuff, and the knee pain has not been back since. And that's been about 7 years ago. So it got me really interested in, like, I'm not even jacked up compared to a bunch of other people that went through similar experiences. So I decided that I would switch my career path in college and go to school for this. I've been doing it for about 4 years now, trying to start a nonprofit for veterans because I'm in California. Nobody wants to come out here. So the idea is basically that you can go somewhere around the country because there's plenty of practitioners everywhere, and the nonprofit will just pay for your sessions. Now, what does that really mean, and what is MAT? It's just a way of looking at the body really differently. You have tightness, you have pain, something's causing that. And we try to figure out what that is. And it's really just muscles aren't firing very well because they've been, for us specifically, they've just been beat up on. Stress, trauma, and overuse are what shuts off muscles. So we try to reverse that trend. And the second that you opt for a surgery on the knee or a surgery on the back, that's just the first of many to come. And doctors will they won't tell you that up front, but that's kind of how it is. As soon as you get under the needle, as soon as they cut something open, they're changing stuff in there. I mean, I show my clients videos of surgeries, shoulder surgeries, where they just go in there, they cut all the muscles, and then they just staple them back to wherever, right? And it changes the way their arm moves. It changes. You can never go back from that. And I think we owe it to ourselves to be able to the way that we want to after giving it up to our country and our government for as many years as we have. So the whole idea behind why I got into it, it's a pretty powerful thing. Again, you can You don't have to have back pain. You don't have to have knee pain. Stuff you can get out of without surgeries, without having to deal with it every single day. So
Yeah, where do you sign up?
okay, so if you want to find a practitioner near you at the moment, you're going to go on muscleactivationtechniques.com. That's muscleactivationtechniques.com. They have a page where you can find practitioners. There's pretty much one in every major city, and you could go in there. I'm not sure what everybody charges. My rates are California rates. They're probably much higher than a lot of other people. But again, we're trying to establish a nonprofit that you can just go and those practitioners can just bill me. So that should be done here by the end of the year, hopefully.
Rodhead is asking, Pat's asking, he said he ruptured his Achilles 2 days before Thanksgiving. I had surgery. Any way you can help my recovery?
So there's different levels of how we approach things. And when I'm not there, I send videos to guys on what exercises can really help to loosen things up. Achilles injury is it's actually pretty simple. So I think I still have Broadhead's number. So I'll send him a couple exercises he can do to help speed that thing up.
Now, for the main event, the Kaiser story, the Kaiser roof saga, as we'll call it. Now, he's going to tell his version, and if he nails it, then I'll just elaborate. But I'm pretty sure he's going to leave out a lot because it's quite embarrassing. Now, I don't think he heard the intro music, but the intro music is pretty spot on about what happened that night. With that being said, Kaiser, welcome to the show. Two-piece sniper. Reaper, was it 5?
Reaper 1.
Reaper 1, that's right.
Reaper 1.
Okay, so Reaper 1 is going to give us a story of an awesome, stupid night. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
All right, guys. So I was in Reaper 1, and we were actually attached out of Brassfield, Mora. But what happened is we were sent in to replace Willis, Corvo, and Morley to give them some refit time at Brassfield, Mora. And so we were sent out into the city to basically take their spot. And normally we always, left the wire with a 3-man team, 4-man team. So we were taking a 4-man team, and we took Nick with us. And we were to observe a gas station that supposedly gas was being stolen to then set up IEDs up and down the road, or I guess wherever the gas station was. Hillbrook Police, we started fire from 3 or 4 different directions. And during, I guess, in the initial bursts of gunfire, my rifle scope I actually had, I had a 3 Alpha and then I had a mums on the end. And I guess the mums fell off the end of the rifle. So while this was going on, I jumped down and I'm trying to look through the debris to find it. And I find it, I come back up, and they put me on rear security. Now, by this time, we're starting to receive fire from 3 different sides of this building, and we're trying to reach our QRF to come and get us. And of course, they tell 10, 15 minutes. And it was just a wild thing because we started getting chatter from a Kylo, close air support to come in. And I guess they see that we're being, shot at from 3 different directions from this OP. And I guess Bennett gave them permission to actively engage troops on the ground, and they came down and did a gun run. But while this was all going on, Usher stands up with his AT4, and I guess he says we were receiving effective fire to our 2 o'clock, and he stands up, gets on a knee, and he goes to shoot the AT4, but he doesn't know that I think Nick was right behind him, and so Nick had to jump down, and Bennett was screaming at him, and Usher almost did the impossible. He turned with the AT4 and almost shot the building to the next of us, and then he stopped, and then he took an effective fire at a door, and all gunfire ceased, and it was just crazy because first I jumped off the hide site. I left where everybody was at, and I'm roaming around in this rubble pile in the dark while we're taking shooting, and I remember it was just a wild night. Nick probably remembers it a lot better than I do, I just remember that when we got back, Captain Ferris pulled us into his office and he lit us up. He said, "Who gave y'all authorization to allow Cass in the, you know?" And I just remember Bennett saying, "Well, you know, I was the highest ranking guy there, so ground commander has control. Unless you want to see 4 or 5 dead Americans, I did what I had to do to keep my guys alive." So, Nick, if you can elaborate better or tell some, fun. I think you might remember this. Me and Usher almost got in a fist fight right before we climbed up on the roof because I'd been carrying that 240 ammo in my hand while carrying a sniper rifle. So I was like walking around the street, with not even my weapon, at the ready, just lugging around all these rounds. Just wild, wild west shit, man. Stuff that you can't even, you don't train soldiers, but you just have to get it done because that was our mission, man. Plus,
Hey.
we were pretty cowboyish.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, you want to warn them real quick before I get started?
Yeah, Kaiser, get ready because I don't know how loose the acquaintanceships has been with Nick, but you're about to get a dose of what it's like to be his friend. So if you screw up, Nick's got like an elephant's memory, and he's gonna remember it in Technicolor. And get ready because I'm pretty sure he's got a live fire coming.
All right, now mute your
I
Joe.
mean, it is what it is.
The thing that he's telling is absolutely true. It was a hellacious night. However, the story has yet to come unfold. It started out very accurate that we were giving Josh's team some rest, and we talked about Josh last week and Tracy last week. So rest in peace, guys. We'll always talk about you. We love you. I was at E5, and they sent me with them because it's one of their first real missions in the city. So I'm kind of like going with them because I'm a machine gunner, and like we're going out with with a third squad, which is actually Joe's and Britson's squad, and Joe's and Dave's squad. So we're running through this city. I got a 240. I got about 15 bottles of water, about 1,500 rounds. He's got my other 200 rounds in his hand. I'm dying here. I'm full kit, and I'm like, we're gonna die as soon as somebody sees it. We're gonna die. But there's only 4 of us. We're running around. It's like none of us can shoot back. I'm like, we're screwed. We get to the rec center, and I'm like, thank God, right? We made it. Got into the courtyard. Well, true story. Him and Usher just start going at it. I mean, an argument, and I don't blame them because they haven't had much combat experience at the time at Brassfield, and they really didn't know what kind of city they were in. So I grabbed both of them by the collar, and I said, "Do you have any fucking idea where we are? Do you have any idea how many bad guys you're gonna wake up and are gonna kill us?" I was like, "Shut the fuck up." I was like, "Put your claymore up, do what you snipers do, and get your ass up to the roof." So we get up to the roof, right? And I'm carrying all this heavy shit. I dump it. I take my kit off. I'm like, thank God. I open up one of my 15 water bottles, right? And I'm about to take a sip of it, and I hear, hey, Cottrell. And I'm like, what? They're like, hey, there's something over here. I was like, oh, shit, probably, So I climb up over the ledge of this roof, and all these snipers and with all their cool guy shit and gear, they're looking, and they're like, right there, Cottrell. How come you can't see him? I'm like, did you fucking laze him? I don't see what you're even talking about. And so then finally the team leader's like, oh shit, he puts a 3x on my nuts. And I was like, oh, those guys, yeah. Like they're putting an IED on Celtics. And remember how he said in his story that he didn't know the road. Well, that's why I was there. I knew the fucking road, right? So it's like, yeah, those guys are putting IED on Celtics. And Moore's like, all right, we're gonna engage him. And I was like, nah, I wouldn't do that. And he's like, well, yeah, we're gonna engage him. I was like, listen, man, they're super far away. I was like, just call it up to the TOC, and the TOC's gonna send it. We'll call in something on them. I was like, but they're too far away. I was like, maybe not for you snipers at nighttime, but it's pretty far away, like 600 something meters, and over in like another building. And so Moore's like, no, go get your 240. I was like, hey, all right, hey, mission commander, like you said, on the ground. So I went and got my 240. And he's like, hey, Cottrell, I want you to engage. I said, okay, Moore, listen, that's 600 meters that I have to fire a 240 from the hip. Because there was a building that in between us. And I was like, I have to stand up. If I go in the prone, I'll hit the building. And he's like, I want you to engage. It's the most casualty producing weapon. I'm like, yeah, that's the Ranger School answer. I got it. But again, we shouldn't even do this. I was like, as soon as we start shooting, the whole city's gonna know we're here. Like, so don't do it. Like, we're not shooting at them yet. Plus, we had 3 adjoining OPs that were watching. And I'm begging Moore. I'm like, Moore, if you just wait 3 fucking hours, there's gonna be so many people to shoot right in front of us. Like, they're literally gonna come out here with like tricycles and bells going off that they're gonna put in a bomb, and we're just gonna shoot them. Like, we've been doing it for like 8 months. Like, it's gonna happen. So he's like, no, we're gonna engage. I'm like, son of a bitch, you know. So he's like, but cowboy stuff, like he said. I was like, I'm standing here, you know. I don't know if I can get the camera to look right, but you know, I'm standing here. And I'm like this with nods on with a 240. Like I'm pressing the pack 15, and I'm like, you guys ready? And like the freaking laser's going up, and he's like, yeah, we're ready. And I'm like, bah! Right. So I mean, I don't hit shit. Of course, I don't hit anything. I can't even see what I'm shooting at. But I blow through a 200 round belt. Okay. I run. I jump over the ledge of the roof. I grab 2 ammo cans, and I was like, oh shit, we're getting shot at. And I was like, I'm gonna put my kit on now because I was shooting without a kit on or helmet. And I'm like, putting all this shit on now. And this, I've been teaching this lesson to all my soldiers for years after this day. Is the only positive thing that happened that night was Usher remembered his EIB and he yelled, backblast area clear. And as I was coming up to the next edge of the roof, all I was looking into the back of was an AT4. And I hear backblast area clear. I was like, shit. I was like, no, not clear. And I jumped back down and I plugged my ears. And I'm like, now you're clear. And boom, you know, you hear this AT4. Those guys have never been around an AT4. They look cool in the movies, but if you're around 3 of them, it's going to cause you brain damage in one day. Anyways, we now are getting shot at from everywhere. Kaiser looks at me and he's like, my scope just got shot. And I was like, well, shit, maybe you should put your helmet on, dude. I was like, and it was just, it was a mess. So exactly what I told Sergeant Moore is happening. Now all the bad guys are waking up. And now they're all shooting at us. And I'm like, shit. And the QRF platoon was the worst platoon in Charlie Company. So that's why it took them like 15 minutes. And it kind of sucked because one of their guys got shot in the leg. I think from the call, we got him back into the gate onto a bird in about 9.5 minutes. It took these guys 15 minutes to drive a click and a half down the road. But either way, we're getting all kinds of fucking lit up. Just crazy. And I don't have the radio or anything like that. And all of a sudden I hear wham, you know, this gun run come. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. You know, I'm like pumped. I'm like, this is going to stop the firefight real quick. You know, and then like AT4 went through the door, gun run, you know, and then I hear this break, clear the net. This is Charlie 7. This is Charlie 6. He's like, I want to know who just cleared a freaking Kiowa hot in my city. And all you hear is Usher, this is Reaper 1 Romeo, that was me. And it was fucking great. So here's some specialists on the radio clearing a gun run. And old Charlie 6 says, you guys have any fucking idea what you just shot at? And we're like, no. You know, he's like, that's the gas station, dude. Kiowa run on the gas station. The entire mission was to protect the gas station and stop the people from stealing shit from it. And we call it a damn gun run on the gas station. Shit. So we finally get extracted. This story keeps going. So if you guys can rewind a little bit, if you can remember that I told Sergeant Moore, I was like, dude, just wait 3 hours. If you wait 3 hours, we're going to be able to kill a lot of people. Just please don't engage, right? So we engaged. We already went over that. So we get picked up. I'm fucking pissed, because we just shot like 17 203 rounds, an AT4, about 900 rounds out of my 240, 700 sniper rounds, and we probably like hit a fucking dog. Like that's the only thing we fucking hit. So we get back to the base, and I'm sitting there cleaning my 240. I'm smoking one of my Miamis. I'm just like, guys, man, almost got me killed tonight. I'm trying to wind down, and the sun's just about to come up, right? And any ranger knows that's when the enemy's coming. So sure as shit, all I hear is boom, boom, all this stuff going off, and it's the other 3 OPs. 3 hours later, like fucking clockwork, when I told Moore that if you just wait 3 hours. So in comes glorious second platoon, the best platoon ever, right? And then here comes third squad, and they're towing this car in. It's all shot up, right? Brains everywhere, all this kind of stuff. And I grabbed Joe. Joe's on here. I was like, Joe, what happened, man? Where'd you guys shoot this guy? He's like, yeah, it's kind of a funny story. The guys got out of the car. We missed one of them. They got in the car, and then they did a U-turn. Joe, why don't you tell them where they did a U-turn?
Rec center. Yeah, rec center whole time.
Rec center parking lot, Kaiser.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. That is the beginning and the end point. Went down right there at the old rec center.
Yeah. And then to validate Kaiser, because he's not lying, when I got back to the patrol base, the CO's like, hey, Control, what the fuck? And I was like, I don't know what happened. Like, I just started shooting my 240. That's all I remember. And I walked away. So deflect. But yeah, so Kaiser, would you like to talk about that at all? Like, does that story ring a bell?
That story is a lot more entertaining than mine. I will clarify that I had been in the city prior when I was with Morley and Willis, so I had worked as their fourth man for a while, and then my team came in, and Bennett and Moore really hadn't been in the city as much as I had. So, and remember, I was a sniper. I didn't really pay too much attention. Remember, I was also the only Ranger qualified guy in the sniper section. So, for me, I just tried to do my job and come back home. And yeah, we did some Wild Wild West stuff, but definitely was a crazy experience because I remember after that, I think we weren't allowed to go outside the wire for like a week. And they put me, and the worst part was that Ferris came back and he told Bennett that one of us had to pull guard for the next week.
He was so mad at you guys.
So me and Moore were out there up on guard and shit, and we're just, we hated it because we were scouts. We didn't pull guard anywhere. Not at Brassfield, not at, Uvanni. We were the battalion commander's special guys, and we just did shit differently.
Special that team was, yeah, for sure. Now, Buddy's still on the net here, and so Beckwith, he's terrified right now. He's driving, he's sitting in his car. He's like, I pray to God they don't bring up Bravo Company, right? Because he is right. They did start Charlie Company out to a good success, but Bravo Company literally went to Spiker. They spent that entire deployment at Spiker.
With a great chow hall. Yeah.
Like a great six.
They had everything.
They had bus routes. Like you could get on a bus, and you could go somewhere. And we're sitting here pooping in wood boxes, all this kind of thing.
Not true at all.
It is. All you need is 10% truth on this, buddy. So I understand. I understand why, buddy.
Are you done running your suck yet? Are you done running your suck?
Let me make my
because first of all,
and then you'll
Bravo Company did not stay at Spiker the whole time. We were the entire country's QRF. We went to a bunch of different places. Adwar. We went to Bakuba, little town called Bakuba.
Yeah, we were in Bakuba too. No big deal. Anyways, so
yeah, no big deal.
I didn't see you there while we were clearing that entire town.
We came to clean that shit up after you guys left.
The guys you didn't catch. Anyways, so to finish my point about Bravo Company is I just remember finally going to this luxurious chow hall, and there's Beckwith. And I kind of thought, like I said, Beckwith was a legend to me, all right? He I think he's kind of motored down to a type B personality, but he used to be kind of type A. So he just drew all the attention to himself. And I was a young soldier. I get in this chow hall. I'm like, oh shit, there's Stefan Beck. And then there's Vito. Vito and I were good friends. So I'm like, I'm gonna go talk with Vito, man. I'm gonna say hi. And these guys had probably put on about 15 pounds. And I'm not talking about the steroid rip that all the Brassfield guys put on. I'm talking about 15 pounds. I ain't done shit in the last 8 months except eating this beautiful chow hall with lobster tails, right? And he starts talking about how special they are and how good they are, And to prove a point, the worst our battalion ever got was at the point where we went to JRTC and failed miserably, and they switched our deployment to an area that wasn't getting shot at. And then that was in 09. And even then, they stuck Bravo Company to guard a garbage dump. Like they were like the worst freaking company in the worst battalion in the army at the time. The only good thing was the only good thing.
It was a nice garbage dump too.
It was, yeah, and they got shot at once, I think, and that was pretty cool.
Hold on. Where was Charlie Company during that deployment?
I think Beckwith, we were the main effort, actually. Charlie Company was the decisive operation for the clearance of Route Plutos and the security of it. So that was actually what we were. It's not a big deal. DO for 2 deployments in a row. Now, you have something to do with that. Your mic's muted, which is a good thing. So,
hold on. Remind me, were you not at Fob Loyalty with we used to go there to visit so that we could go swimming. Like you were just talking about chow halls. We were eating diesel fuel gravy while you motherfuckers were we would steal food from Charlie Company because that was the only actual food.
Now that was Delta Company there. And we were at Baladia before they built it up. So our entire platoon got dysentery because all we would eat is fish from the Tigris and then falafels, right? Delta Company was supposed to give us food, and Jeffrey over there and his whole freaking company didn't bring us food for 3 freaking months. Now,
it's
the best part about this is we make fun of Dave for being a German rapper, right? But in all of his David Hasselhoff gloriness, he actually made good friends with a very powerful man because of his gangster German rap. So when that guy came to Beladia, he was like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, well, I'd be good if I had some hot food. And he's like, well, when did you have your last hot meal? He's like, I don't know, 3 months ago, right? And he gets on the radio and he calls Delta Company, and he's like, give me the XL. Like I said, it's a powerful guy. I'm not going to say his name. But Dave liked him because they rapped together. He said, hey, you don't get to eat anything until Charlie Company gets hot food. If they don't, then you can go eat again, right? And so magically, we had food the next day. That was great. That was a cool thing. So no, buddy, we were not sitting there at the swimming pool. I wish we were, but again, Charlie was the we were out in the fight, right? And we weren't even eating. And I don't know if any of you ever had dysentery before.
What fight? What
Hey,
fight? You mean the
I
sit
already-
around waiting on a Katusha to hit you fight? Because basically that was back when the 82nd decided it would be a good idea to channelize us and let the fucking enemy have freedom of maneuver all the way through Baghdad. I remember. Yeah. That was a good trip.
Yeah, I talked about that earlier when I said that our battalion was so bad that they put us someplace where nothing was happening. But we were still the DO while Bravo Company was guarding a garbage dump. And
Like, you're talking about you're the lead effort for nothing. That's like saying that my butthole is the lead effort for taking a shit. It's still just dropping out of my ass.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I understand why you want special forces because you wanted to finally get some action. You'd been in the army for like 21 years, and the only gun you fired was like at OP-13. And I got it. It was killing you. It was killing you. I don't think I've ever seen Buddy Beckwith, the legend, on the ropes quite like he is right now. And I kind of like to see that.
I'll tell you.
It's.
I'll tell you. that that while in Bravo Company, we did do a whole lot of secret. Well, our ops were just real black. We couldn't tell you guys about them. In Charlie Company, we were told by the battalion commander to keep it on the down low because you guys would get jealous of all of our ops. Our ops are real black. They were super black.
Okay, so we made fun of Beck with enough, maybe not enough, but again, he's a great American. He went to go do something bigger and better because he hadn't experienced it yet. Ranger was it for me because I had already pulled the trigger a bunch of times and shot a bunch of people in the face, and I really didn't need to go anywhere else to do it. Kaiser helped out a lot with that. Hey, Joe, you want to tell us about that red car that Kaiser's team didn't allow us to smoke?
Wait, hold on. You talking about the one we pulled in?
Yeah, the car that made a U-turn right in the rec center parking lot.
Oh yeah, we I think it was the same deal. Every time I went down to get a bottle of water, when I was done pulling security, it was like the kiss of death. I was just talking to my dad about it. Same thing as you. I just cracked my last can of soup because we've been out there for a minute, and Luke he throws a pebble at my boot, and I look over, and they're like waving me over, and sure as shit, the car had been shooting. It drove past us at the speed of smell and made a left like it was driving Miss Daisy and drove straight away from us, real slow. So Lukey put one shot through the headrest of the car, and one shot, and the car starts going all over the place, and that was the end of it. We lit the car up, and but that was the red car, Kaiser. He had no window in the back, and they were shooting at OPs. So
who was the lieutenant that came and picked us up with QRF? Because we searched over there at the gas
never heard of them. I'm just saying we were on an OP in the city, and you missed and we didn't, and that's all right. It's okay.
Right. I do believe I have. Let's see, I have a bronze star for a confirmed kill and a wounded, don't I? Oh, that's right. Sniper action.
Well, your reward from the show is being made as we speak.
Yeah. We could go into an awards thing, and I know Beckwith would have a lot to say about that because all of the medals they got were just from what we did, and it was, and Jeff, why don't you tell us about some of the size of them craters on that MSR that you used to deal with? I will give you guys some credit. You had to deal with those.
Yeah, I want to push back a little bit first on you, Nick, on that Eastern Baghdad deployment because you said you guys said you were the decisive operation, but we had to bring you food, which was we had to go to the chow hall and then take it to the MRAP and then drive it like half a mile to you guys. That's a lot of work, and so that's why we did one out of every 10 days, and then so that's pretty decisive, I would say. Secondly, my platoon released Bashar al-Baghdadi from prison. So that's a pretty decisive op, say.
Yeah, you should go into that. I can't.
Can I personally, as a fifth group guy, tell you thanks for releasing that motherfucker? Appreciate it.
No. This is a true story.
Thanks.
We can't talk about it, but Jeff's going to talk about it. Jeff can officially talk about it. I can't. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah, we were on the official. My platoon from Deco got pulled into the Z-Man's personal guard because we had this big blonde American that was an awesome LT, so he loved him. He wanted him around, and we would go down and grab prisoners while we're still getting blown up, and grab prisoners and release them in our sector. And I get into college and I'm researching ISIS, and this is after the fact. And I find out that my platoon released Bashar al-Baghdadi. I was part of that, and I was one of two dudes that we would search him before we put him on the public transit and escort him back. And I was one of the dudes that was searching dudes. And I just always think to myself, maybe I was the guy that just did a little too hard credit card swipe on this dude. F America from there. and I like sent him over that because I probably got a couple fingers in there, pretty, just to make sure. And it's like, damn, did I start ISIS? It's something I think about every night.
I mean, I'll let Buddy get on that one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you are. I mean, you are from California, and when you listen to the intro song, it'll make more sense now. You did start. You did. So, Buddy, go ahead. What
You
you
suck.
to say about El Baghdadi and Delta Company for creating ISIS?
Hey, you know what? Yeah, I kind of overreacted there for a minute. I was like, well, fuck, we should have just shot him right fucking then. But, I got a lot of per diem on that trip I did in Syria. And you know what? Thanks, man. I do appreciate it. I also appreciate all of the late nights in weird fucking middles of nowhere in Syria. But you know what? Delta Company was its own little beast back then. You guys didn't know what you were doing. You didn't know. It's not your fault.
It certainly wasn't my fault.
Jeff, it's always a pleasure. We're going to put his information up. Trust me, if you have any type of service-related injury before you get a surgery, please call Jeff. He worked on me with my vertebrae almost completely crushed, and he was able to get me standing back up and swinging the golf clubs again like that. So come see him, give him a call. He's going to give you some advice about what to do with your body as far as like your service-related injuries. And Kaiser, hey man, we went to war together. Loved having you there. Just wish we could have killed some people earlier in the morning when I said we would. And then Buddy, we're going to get some fan feedback on your honesty cap and then see how that goes. And maybe we'll bring it back on because I'm pretty sure nobody really wants to hear about the Bravo Company stories because they're ours. Go ahead, Dave.
No, we're good. Hey, thanks for coming on, guys. Hey, all trash talkers out there, hey, keep supporting us. Go ahead on YouTube. All right. We got a couple subscribers, but we need to grow this channel so it can get pushed out. You can also follow us on IG. So go ahead and subscribe on IG. Just look for Veteran Trash Talk. It's right on there. Again, guys, we're just trying to create a community, all right, to help our brothers out, all right, promote veteran businesses. And then like Joe was talking about at the very beginning, the veteran suicide rate is freaking insane. Like legitimately, if you guys look up the stats today, it's 17 a day. That's a hard pill to swallow. So if we can save one life, fucking mission accomplished, all right? So keep sharing us, get the word out. Thanks for having us. Thanks for being on. Thanks for watching. And Charlie Company's second platoon is still the best.
It is, Dave. Was there one more thing you want to talk about?
You know it is.
Dave, the letter you got.
We'll bring that up next time.
Okay, next time.
I'll bring that up next time, yeah.
Yeah, we are impacting lives, guys. So the more you share, dude, it's beautiful. Thanks for coming out, guys. Had a blast with you.